Hello and welcome back to Gigasaurus Games tries to play in online tournaments. I am Gigasaurus Games, and this week I am back with another round with the Jacksonville Locals crew, who I verify this is for fun, not for anything official, which is fine with me because I'm certainly not earning CP in anything official. I am not that good. This is their first tournament, attempting to use Regulation E rules. Although it is worth noting that those rules aren't actually out yet. So mostly what it's actually saying is that the rule says including all of the mons from the new Teal Mask DLC that recently released. I have submitted my team list, and we're just waiting for everyone to check in. And in the meantime, I will go online and show the team that I'm using this week. I spent all weekend working on an assignment, which I found out today had its deadline pushed back by 2 days, but regardless. However, the upshot of this is I did not have time to build my own team, so instead I am using a rental team. The one and only rental team for Regulation E, well, one of only two that I could find online. This particular team I found on Reddit from a user Houday on the VGC subreddit for Pokemon. And this is the team that it is running. My understanding is it's mostly based on using Tornadus and Sinistra to let Ursaluna and Ogerpon hit things really hard. Although, as you'll note, we're using the Water Ogerpon instead of the Fire Ogerpon. For those who don't know, Ogerpon is a new legendary Pokemon in the Teal Mask DLC that has 4 different forms based on what item it is holding. The Wellspring Mask puts it in a water form that gives it the water absorbability and the water type and water Terra type. Additionally, when it Terras, every time it switches in, it gains +1 special defense. I mention this because the Fire Mask has +1 attack on switch in and on Terra. So usually you'd be running the Fire Mon to hit really hard, but this particular team has decided to try running Water Ogerpon instead. I assume for better typing or something. Also, instead of running Swords Dance, like most setup mons I would expect to run, this one's running Focus Energy. The idea being you use Focus Energy, and Ivy Cudgels has a boosted crit rate to just keep critting, so you don't actually care about getting intimidated. Which I suppose would be the reason you don't care about the +1 attack either, because you're just using crits anyways. You might as well live more hits, which is also what Sinistra is there for, with Hospitality to regain health every time you switch in. Which is also fun for Moltres. Galarian Moltres has the ability Berserk. Every time it drops below half health, it gains +1 special attack. So this particular Moltres set can drop below half, gain +1 special defense, and then heal back up above half with a Citrus Berry. So the next time he gets hit, it drops back below half and gets more stats. Again, it's more special attack. Every time Sinistra's Hospitality switches in, it gains quarter health, so it can just keep getting more Berserk procs for more special attack. Of course, that assumes it can live that long. But the fact that Fiery Wrath, its signature move, is a spread move does help with making that actually work. And I'm just keeping an eye on the Discord and schedule because it should be getting released pretty soon for our first match. Tornadus is here for Tailwind, so Ogerpon, Arcanine, Moltres, and Ursaluna can all hit faster, although Ursaluna is always pretty slow, so it won't actually help Ursaluna that much. Although Sinistra's Trick Room will help it do that, as well as also giving us anti-Trick Room for other people trying to use, say, Blood Moon Ursaluna, another new Mon introduced in the Teal Mask DLC, which I will describe if we run into one. As for the Arcanine, that is the Sween Arcanine, which is a Fire Rock type. It can have Rock Head, but this one does not. This one is Intimidate, because Intimidate is really good for debuffing both opponents in doubles, which allows you to, again, live longer, which is what I think really what this team wants to do. Live long enough to kill stuff. Also, this particular Arcanine is running Mirror Herb, which the designer of the team, Hude, says is a meta call to allow so that when you switch into, say, another Fire Ogerpon that's going to gain free attack, you duplicate its free attack with your Mirror Herb. Or if you're running into the Grass-type Ogerpon, just pure Grass, it has the ability to Defiant. So when you intimidate it, it goes down 1 attack stage, then goes up 2, because every time a Defiant Mon has a stat debuff, it gains +2 attack. But that also means Arcanine will gain +2 attack, so you have a +2 Arcanine versus a +1 Ogerpon, which might actually be a battle that Ogerpon wins, but that's beside the point. Hopefully, the fact that Arcanine can Terra Grass to absorb some hits and Extreme Speed to outpace it will help that problem, but it's not guaranteed to. And then the last interesting thing to note with the Tornadus is the Covert Cloak and the Mental Herb and Sinistra. Covert Cloak causes attacks secondary effects to not trigger. Notably, this includes, say, Fake Out, because flinching is a secondary effect. And the Tournament Hub has a message. Good luck, trainers. Just waiting for the schedule to finally release. And then Sinistra's Mental Herb lets it shake off Taunt once. I submitted this team sheet based on the Reddit post, which just had a PNG file. So I had used an image text extractor to pull out the text to put into the form. But I checked over the text before I submitted it to make sure it would be correct. So it will be fine. And there we go. Check in pairings. There we go. And we are off with the first match of our day. Of the day. Check in. Alright, never mind. What happened there? I had a pair, and then I don't have a pair. I'm confused. Well, I guess we will find out. Oh goodness, there's a lot of Tornadus. There is a lot of Tornadus being used by the teams this week. So that at least is very, very normal for this round. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pause in my recording. And when I come back, I should be connecting to my opponent. So I will be back in just a moment. And we are back with our first opponent, which will be Gumi. I'm battling her again, as I did last week. If I remember correctly, I lost last time. So we will see if I can do better this time around. While I was waiting, I also went and took a look at some of the team lists for everyone else. Lots of Ogerpon. Lots of Water-type Ogerpon, actually, more than Fire-type Ogerpon. There weren't any, neither of the other forms were being used, it was just those two, but there was a lot of specifically water, which was interesting, so I guess Water Absorb for Anti-Urshifu is the theory. And yes, that's correct. And connecting. And yes, here is the team that my opponent is running. Yes, there was a joke earlier today in that Discord about Roaring Moon being only decent and not great. And so so Gumi said that she was going to bring Roaring Moon to eat all of us alive. This is Terra Flying Booster Energy Roaring Moon, so I'm going to guess it's going to be speed boosting, maybe. So I may try something like Tornadus get up Tailwind. Does he have Fake Out? Does she bring Fake Out? Yeah, she does bring Fake Out, which might... But she'll know I have Covert Cloak. Alternatively, No, I don't have anything that can hurt Roaring Moon initially. So let's try... Why don't I try this? Why don't I try running Trick Room? And then clean up with Ogre Pawn in the back. Let's see how this works. Because my opponent's largely using a fairly quick, speedy team, other than the Iron Hands. And I think this set that I'm leading doesn't care about neutralizing gas as much as, say, Prankster Tornadus would. Neutralizing gas, this Weezing's ability, suppresses all abilities on the field, except I don't think it works in photosynthesis. Yeah, it does not work in photosynthesis. It does, however, work on guts. So... that's not optimal. So we're going to try doing this, maybe. We're going to try and just make the Weezing dead so that Ursaluna can do its job. And meanwhile, Sinistra is going to go ahead and try to debuff that Roaring Moon. If it can live a hit, which it may not, it may just die to Terra Flying Acrobatics straight up. But it didn't try it. Can't that confuse? Okay, well it didn't, if it can. So that'll be -1 attack on the Roaring Moon, and Sinistra's probably back to full health with Strength stat. Because Roaring Moon is a really high attack stat. And the Weezing is gone. Perfect. So Neutralizing Gas leaves the field, and Guts is back in play. I'm gonna guess the Roaring Moon's goal was to prevent me from setting up Trick Room, but the fact that Hospitality wasn't active until now because of the neutralizing gas means that now the neutralizing gas is gone, the ability triggers, and it triggered to heal Ursaluna, which is fun. This thing can't hurt me very much. So I'm now that Roaring Moon is debuffed, I'm going to set Trick Room and set it Protect, so that Ursaluna will survive the turn. Ogre Pawn can't kill me with Ivy Cudgel because I will be behind Protect. Roaring Moon can't kill me because I'm behind Protect. And Roaring Moon, we saw, does not OHKO Sinistra with a stab move. Or at least not with a stab throat chop. Maybe stab acrobatics would have, but now that it's at -1, I don't think it will. It did not Terra anyway. And I don't think this plus Ogre Pawn will kill Sinistra. It did not. So now now I've got Trick Room up. And now I can start doing... Ursaluna can start doing its job. I'm going to Matcha Gotcha because that is healing, and it punishes Terra Ogre Pawn, and it potentially debuffs Roaring Moon if I get a burn. And I will Facade the Ogre Pawn because it has water moves, which are bad for Ursaluna. There's an argument here. Okay. I should have seen that coming, I admit. That's on me. Oh, they are just stalling the turn. Because she's waiting for Trick Room. She wants Trick Room to run out. Fair enough. So Ursaluna will take some chip because of the Spiky Shield. Matcha Gotcha will accomplish a whole lot of nothing. But Matcha Gotcha is not a contact move, so Spiky Shield won't do extra damage there. Ursaluna's slowly getting chipped down. Oh well. We're going to Strength Sap the Roaring Moon this turn, and I'm going to try and Facade the Ogre Pawn again. There is no switch into a Facade from Ursaluna. Alright. There goes one of them. As I continue to debuff the Roaring Moon, and now that 2 mons have been KO'd, the Roaring Moon can't switch out to fix its stats, so this Roaring Moon is just at -2 attack from now on. Its attack was already debuffed so much that Sinistra didn't even reach full health from the strength stat. I kind of missed what, to be honest, I missed what the Roaring Moon's photosynthesis was triggering, but regardless, this Chien-Pao has Focus Sash. So we are going to Matcha Gotcha and Facade again. So the Chien-Pao can protect, it can protect, but I'm not worried about Roaring Moon right now. It did not. So it will live the Facade from the Focus Sash, but now Matcha Gotcha is a spread move with 90% accuracy, and it hits both targets, and Chien-Pao dies. Perfect. And it heals a little bit from the hit on the Roaring Moon. Also, it burned the Roaring Moon, so this Roaring Moon is accomplishing a whole lot of nothing. And I think that means with this best of 3, I should have this pretty well in hand at this point. There is a Roaring Moon on the field. I think there's another turn of Trick Room. Technically. There is one turn of Trick Room. I think it's likely to protect here. In case it doesn't, I will see if I can kill it this way. My opponent just forfeits because they clearly can't do anything more there. Nice. Okay. Things to keep in mind. The Glaring Reasoning has Protect, so the same trick that I used that game to keep Guts online will not work next time. Because the Weezing can just protect until I get burned, and then because I'm burned, I will not be able to KO it anymore, most likely. So I don't want to use the same leads I used that game. It worked, but I think it'll only work once. I also suspect that now that my opponent sees that Roaring Moon cannot one-shot Sinistra with Throat Chop, that they will either Terra Flying Acrobatics to make sure it dies so I can't start Trick Room, or else they will not bring Roaring Moon at all. So I'm going to modify my play here. So last game I went underspeed. This game I'm going to go outspeed. We're going to bring Tornadoes and Arcanine out front as leads. And we're going to see if I can get some good spread Rock Slide damage going on with Arcanine. And then I'll clean up with... No, you know what? If I wanted... No, yeah. Moltres does not have a good attack against Roaring Moon plus something else. So we'll do that. Actually, Moltres is not good in this matchup at all, just in general. And then I'll bring Ogerpon and Sinistra in the back and leave Ursaluna out this time, because I don't think my opponent will let me get away with the same trick twice. And hopefully, because Roaring Moon did so poorly that time, they won't bring Roaring Moon this battle, because Roaring Moon is their Tailwind user. So if they don't bring their Tailwind user, my Tailwind user can beat it. Or can help my team outspeed a bunch of stuff. So let's see how this goes. Alright, there was no I was correct, they did not bring Tailwind. They also, interestingly, did not bring Weezing. So I got my Prankster. Intimidate goes off, debuffs both opponents. And I set Tailwind. And I will just Terra Grass. No, that's not worth using. Alright, we're just gonna straight Rock Slide. Because... well, it won't do much to the Chien-Pao this turn. And I already know it has Focus Sash. So actually, because I'm not going to do... because Rock Slide won't do much to Iron Hands, and I don't want Rock Slide to miss breaking the Sash, I'm going to go for E-Speed while I set Tailwind. Which hilariously means the Tailwind does nothing this turn, but will be useful next turn, and the turns after that, presumably. I accept this outcome. I don't think Iron Hands can one-shot Tornadus, even if it can't fake out, nor can it fake out because of my Covert Cloak. I'm betting Wild Charge does not OHKO. I actually just went for Drain Punch anyway. Alright. So this time, I go for double spread and kill Chien-Pao through Sash, most likely. The Chien-Pao does have Sucker Punch, however. But they want to instead of preserving their Sash and switching something else in. Which is going to apparently be Landorus. Which I am okay with, I think. Dang it, I missed. Ah, that would have been good to hit. Okay, so I think Bleak Wind Storm has some sort of accuracy. I thought it was 90. It might be 85. We wouldn't usually expect both to hit, though. Oh, it's 80. Well, still. That was unfortunate. So what am I doing? I think I want the Iron Hands to die if I can. Because this Landorus doesn't worry me, whereas the Iron Hands does. So we're going to try and focus down this Iron Hands that doesn't have Protect. Chien-Pao? No, Wheezing. Okay. The neutralizing gas isn't meaningful right now. I missed again! That's the one I needed to hit! Oh well. So Arcanine dies to recoil. Oh, okay. I will... You know what? I'll take that Balance of Luck, actually, because that means that Ogerpon can do its setup shenanigans now, I bet. Especially because this probably kills. You know? I'm actually okay with this. I am actually okay with this outcome. Because here's what happens now. I bring in Ogerpon and Sinistcha. Because I'm required to. Oh yeah, I forgot to report the game result, but my opponent did so it's fine. Ogerpon is going to focus energy, while Sinistcha Rage Powders. Because the Iron Hands is Terra Grass, but I'm pretty sure after the burn I certainly live one, and the Weezing's Terra Dark. So Sinistcha's going to Rage Powder while Ogerpon sets up. That is what we're doing here. And the Intimidate, which is not even online because of neutralizing gas, but... Okay. It is Ogerpon against the world right now, basically. Yeah, the Weezing did it, Will-O-Wisp. Good thing I've used Rage Powder. I didn't notice that fact, but it was fine. So... Sinistcha's doing whatever. Alright. Tailwind petered out. That's whatever. What can this Weezing do? What can this Landorus do? This Landorus can Terra Flying. Terra Flying, Terra Blast. Ogerpon is definitely what's going Terra. I'm going to Ivy Cudgel the Landorus dead. While Sinistcha Rage Powders. The theory being that Sinistcha can certainly live anything Weezing wants to do. I need to keep Rage Powdering because of that Will-O-Wisp. Is that Terra Flying in Lando? Yes, it is. Alright! Ivy Cudgel Focus Energy! Here we go! I'm hoping I get the crit. I think it's actually probable. Because if I do get the crit, the Lando I suspect is dead. Nice. I don't know if that's probable or even... It might even be guaranteed. I don't remember crit rates exactly. Critical hit rate. Oh, come on. And Sinister's already burned because I was dealing with that problem. So, Focus Energy gives you +2 to your probability. And Ivy Cudgel is +1, I believe. Which means I'm at +3 crit rate when I'm using Ivy Cudgel, which always crits in Gen 9. At least as long as I remember Focus Energy does correctly. Which I will check later. For now, we have a different problem. We have... Okay. Here's what's going to happen. Ogerpon is going to Spiky Shield. While Sinistra Matcha Gachas. The idea here being... This will protect me against the Will-O-Wisp for a turn. It'll break a sash if this thing wants to use it. If I don't die... Matcha Gacha should break the sash. As long as I don't miss. Okay, there we go. Sash broken. Alright. Okay. Ivy Cudgel the Wheezing. Because I need to not get burned. To win this game, I need to not be burned. And Sinister Rage Powder? Sinister Rage Powders. That's to force the Sucker Punch onto it and fail, if that's what Qianpao wants to do. Having said that, that's what I expected to actually happen. So Zoga Punch against the world. If this kills, again, I think the crit is guaranteed. All that's left in the back is a burned Iron Hands, I believe. And this Qianpao. Can these things set up? What are their sets? Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Haze, Protect, Fake Out, Heavy... Fake Out, Spiky Shield. This Iron Hand says Fake Out. We are Spiky Shielding. I am not letting them get free damage on me because I need Ogerpon killing something every turn to win at this point. This Qianpao's not supposed to have throat chop. I just noticed that this Qianpao has the wrong move. This Qianpao is running Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Haze, Protect, not Throat Chop. I just noticed this. I'm gonna kill the Qianpao because it outspeeds me, and that's the bigger threat here. I'm gonna hope I live the Wild Charge, but also, I think I win the match anyway, because that's an automatic game loss, because the Qianpao is using a move it's not supposed to have. Does Wild Charge even kill? I mean, it's likely to. I don't know if it does or not. So it does, but... I claim the win anyway, because that Shenpao is not supposed to be able to use Throat Shot. It's supposed to have Sucker Punch and Haze and Protect. So I'm gonna wait a moment. I'm gonna vamp for a minute while I wait for my opponent to notice the message I sent them, because if that was a loss, possible, we need to do a third game, and we can also just do a third game anyway, just for fun. There's plenty of time in the round, but also my opponent's team sheet was incorrect. So I'm gonna see if that means we're going to a third game or not. Alright. Game two win, because the Shenpao has the wrong move. Now here's the funny thing. I think with the set it's running, Throat Chop, it doesn't actually matter if it's got Throat Chop or Sucker Punch, it still should win that outcome. Oh. Okay, apparently also the Roaring Moon had the wrong Terra type as well, which explained why it never went for Terra Flying Acrobatics. I was wondering why it wasn't doing that. So apparently that was wrong as well. But so what I was saying is, if the Shenpao had been the correct set, it does not, and it's Sucker Punch. That means it's using Sucker Punch instead of Throat Chop. I believe Throat Chop has the same base power, give or take. Okay, it's slightly stronger. So it is. There's a chance, but theoretically. Actually, I can calc this right now because I have time to vamp because because our game ended. Yeah, my opponent's saying that she entered the game and was like, "Whoops, Roaring Moon doesn't have Terra Flying. That's unfortunate." Oh, right, yes. She asked if I could go ahead and finish the disconnect because she wants to go fix her team before the next battle, so it actually matches the team sheet. But yeah, so apparently that was round one. But so if the Shenpao is Sucker Punching, there's theoretically an off chance that I can live the follow-up Wild Charge from the Iron Hands. I'm gonna bet that's probably not true, however. It's running an Assault Vest, an Assault Vest Iron Hands. It was burned at the time. So Wild Charge was expected to do, okay, 32 to 38%, give or take. So it was actually close. I'd have to go back and do the math to see if... I'd have to go back and check my own recording to see how much health it had on that roll. But in theory, because Sucker Punch would have been less than Throat Chop, maybe I could have lived the Sucker Punch, lived the Wild Charge, killed the Shenpao with Ivy Cudgel, killed the Iron Hands with Ivy Cudgel. But, on the following turn. But in any case, my opponent's fixing her team sheet, so I win the round 2-0. And we are now just waiting for the last match to finish. In the meantime, actually there are several matches that need to finish. We're the only match that has finished, so I will go ahead and pause my recording, and when we return, I will be up against my second opponent. And we are back with and I have my round 2 opponent. According to what Limitless tells me is my opponent. I don't recognize the username, so it's just someone from my point of view. While I was gone and waiting, I did verify a couple things. One, after a focus energy, Ivy Cudgel is in fact guaranteed to critical hit, which is pretty cool. And then my other moves have a 50% chance. Additionally, so Sucker Punch plus Wild Charge into Ogerpon at the end there was probably expected to kill, but it wasn't guaranteed to. So it was a roll, it looks like. So, you know, that was interesting. That's fun to think about. So, but Throw does have higher base power. So, anyway, what is my opponent's team? It is a Trick Room team with an Armor Rouge. Actually, it's pretty similar to my team in a sense, because we both have Tailwind. Because we both have both Trick Room and Tailwind setups. Into either one, I like Ogerpon into either one. I actually like Ogerpon lead into either one. Truth be told, I can't taunt the Indeedee, who is the Trick Room setter. Is the only Trick Room setter. So the only way to deal with prevent Trick Room from going up would be to kill it, assuming I want to. I actually do kind of like the idea of killing Indeedee. At least. Let's see, what else do I want? Do I just want E-Speed? Do I like Arcanine or Ursaluna into this? Let's bring Ursaluna, because if they get Trick Room up, I'm going to need something. So, and I don't... Well, yeah, if I'm not leading Tornadus, Tailwind's not going up, so... Let's do this. Let's see... I'm going to bet they're going to try and use Trick Room as their baseline start. And I'm going to see if I can just keep it, if I can just prevent that. Okay, that is neither Tailwind nor Trick Room. I am fine with this. This Lando is pretty basic. I'm not too worried about it. This Flutter Mane is a fast Flutter Mane. Okay. Just gonna do this, I think. Do I want to eat the attack? I think I do want to eat the attack. Eat the Flutter Mane's attack. Because I bet I live 1 if it isn't special attack boosting, and then I get Berserk. I could be wrong, of course. Terra Moonblast would likely kill, but it is Terra Flying. Okay. I want to say Galarian Moltres outspeeds Landorus Therian, but I'm not sure of that. Alright. I do live as expected. I Berserk. I eat my Citrus Berry. That puts me over half. It does put me over half. Ogerpon goes for Focus Energy, like I was mentioning. And then who moves next? Lando moves next. Oh, and kills Ogerpon. That. I forgot about that. Well... Okay. You know what? I can make this work. This can work. I go into Sinistcha. I get I heal Moltres some more with Hospitality. And then I go for... Do I want Terra Steel on Moltres? I really don't. I want Terra Water on Sinistcha as I Rage Powder. and go for another Fiery Wrath. Which should kill Lando. Dazzling Gleam won't kill from this much health because because I'm at about 3/4 health. Moonblast did less than 3/4. Dazzling Gleam will do even less. Worst case, the best case scenario is they Dazzling Gleam and I get more Berserk as I Rage Powder. So, and with the Terra Water, there's basically nothing they can do to hit Sinistra super effectively this turn. So I'm pretty much certain I will live the turn, and we'll get off another Rage Powder next round. Alright, there we go. More Berserk. Terra Blast will redirect into Sinistra, who will not die. The crit probably mattered. Huh. Well, as long as Fire Wrath doesn't miss, because I think it has 95 accuracy, it will kill both opponents, making it 2v2. I was wrong. It did not kill Fluttermane. This is unfortunate. Okay. Huh. Okay. I really thought that would kill. Urshifu. Oh, this is all kinds of bad. That crit really... I think that crit in Sinistra lost me the game. Because I was supposed to be able to Rage Powder this turn. Although... I guess Dazzling Gleam kill Moltres anyway. Huh. So, protecting in front of an Urshifu is dangerous, because Urshifu's contact moves go through Protect. However, I'm betting it is not targeting Moltres. Although if it isn't, I lose to... Ursaluna dies to this. Crit, certain threats is guaranteed to crit, so none of this is... all this is expected, and I lose. Okay. If Sinistra lived last turn... I went for Machagacha this turn. Okay, well... I think it probably would have died to Fluttermane's Dazzling Gleam, so I guess maybe the crit didn't matter. I'm still not sold that it didn't, but maybe it didn't. Alright, so I lose game one. I'm gonna need to adjust, cause that Fluttermane was... That felt like a bulky Fluttermane. It was eating +2 attacks that I really feel like it shouldn't have been eating. The other thing I could have done is if I had Terra Steeled with Moltres, I wouldn't have taken as much from the Dazzling Gleam. I still would have expected to kill the Landorus, and apparently wouldn't have killed Fluttermane either way. I kind of wanted the Berserk because I thought I would kill Fluttermane that way, but it turned out that I didn't. So... So how am I adjusting? That Fluttermane is really fast. I'm not sure I can outspeed it even under Tailwind. Which means I should probably be looking into Trick Room. Yes. Also, the Urshifu is Troy Scarf, which, you know, a thing, I suppose. Yeah. I feel like my better odds are going Trick Room this time. Which means I bring this set. Unless I want to bring the Moltres, because we discovered last time this is a pretty slow Moltres that undersped the Lando. So actually, it might not be awful to bring it. And then I can bring... They're not really doing any setups. The Mirror Herb Arcanite's not that interesting. And Fluttermane's immune to Extreme Seed in any case. So we'll bring Ogerpon for some special defensive bulk, potentially. As well as an answer to Armor Rouge. Once I Terra anyway. The big error last game, if I'm being honest, was the fact that I forgot about Terra Flying Landers killing Ogerpon. If I had Terra'd, I think I was in a much better position than I was. And even then, that might not even be true, because if I live, then I can't Rage Powder, and Moonblast kills Moltres, so I have a Terra Fairy it, but I've already Terra Watered, so... Alright. This is suboptimal. This turn is Bleak Wind Storm, so it does have a way to hit me super effectively. I cannot set Trick Room with the Ursaluna in front of me, because I can kill Ursaluna while it's waiting. So here's what actually happens. I just try to kill the Urshifu. And the Rage Powder means that I would expect... Well, so the Rage Powder will redirect the Surging Strikes. Terra Water means that I don't die to Bleak Wind Storm. But I don't like how this started. Oh, goodness. I was not expecting that. Oh, but I lived. That's neat. I bet I kill the Urshifu now, though. Because there's a -1 defense. I don't think the crit mattered. It might have. It's unclear. Alright, well. Now I have my guts, at least. And Sinister's still alive for a turn, and Bleak Wind Storm doesn't kill. We see that. So, what does my opponent bring out? Rage Powder's priority, so that's whatever. Also, my opponent's just using a Regulation D team, which is pretty reasonable. A lot of Regulation D mons are still good in Regulation E, as we can see from the fact that I died. Okay, so we know from last time this Fluttermane is a problem. Did I bring an answer to it, or do I just need to kill it? I did not bring a real answer to it, so I just need to kill it. I'm gonna Rage Powder. I'm not gonna try sitting Trick Room. We're just gonna kill the Fluttermane. Maybe. I might also, as I think about it, die to double spread move after -1 special defense. Oh, that's gonna kill, isn't it? Dang it. Yeah, that'll kill. Well, this is not great. So I need to kill the Fluttermane for Moltres to do its job. And if they double target it, if they double attack, Moltres dies. The Fluttermane has booster energy, we know that. Also, I know from the team sheet. So it doesn't have focus dash, so I just need to hope I get a crit, basically. Or... So I probably leave the Bleak Wind Storm. Because this probably isn't... So there's nothing I could do about that. But I did completely forget I was weak to flying again. This was not a good performance. I mean, I'll play it out, but I do lose here. Okay, yeah, Terra Fairy Moonblast is gonna OHKO, so whatever. Because I'd already Terra'd the Sinistra, I couldn't Terra the Ogerpon anyway, and that was... Everything just went poorly there. Which was on me. But I wasn't expecting the close combat, I was expecting Surging Strikes. I'm still kind of confused by the close combat, if we're being honest. But it worked. It clearly worked for my opponent, so whatever. And that makes me 0-2, as I just realized that I forgot to confirm that I lost the previous match. And I have lost this set, which is fine. It makes me 1-1. Really, generally speaking, my goal is just to not lose all of my matches, so... good game. Lyrion is the screen name of the person I was facing. And I was the fastest person to lose, so that's fun. And I will be back when we get the round 3 choices and opponents, and hopefully I will remember that Ogerpon is grass type more often, because boy did I keep forgetting that. Yeah, that was just bad. And we are back. And I'm just going to vamp for a minute while I wait for my opponent to show up for our round 3 match. That didn't take as long as I thought it might, because apparently that was a very one-sided round, because every single match was 2-0. So apparently there were lots of people getting annihilated last round. It wasn't just me as I made my mistakes, which are all very much on me. So while I'm vamping, I'll take a look at my opponent's team, because they're running what looks to be something like some form of another Reg D team. The interesting part being they're running 3 Genies, but they're not running Tornadus. So I'm not entirely clear on how the team is supposed to function, but I do see Hisuian Gudra, which does absolutely stop Ogerpon in its tracks. So good. There's my opponent. Set up a link code. What my opponent's team doesn't have is basically any form of speed control. There's a Thundurus with Thunder Wave. And that's about it. So I think their team is fairly vulnerable to Ursaluna under Trick Room. They have a Basculegion. That is the exception to the statement. But I can protect turn 1, and once I have Trick Room up, I'm basically just fearing, to be fair, super effective adaptability to Aqua Jet, which would hurt a lot, actually, as I'm saying, as I'm sitting here thinking about this. But I don't really have a response to Thunder Wave other than running Trick Room. So I think I'm likely to do that. There's the link code. And also, despite the fact that Hisuian Gudra does stop Ogerpon in its tracks, I actually do like Ogerpon other than that. Because it generally handles this team pretty well. It's got super effective moves for half the team, which we will see in a minute here. And it doesn't mind Thunderous too much if Thunder Wave is up. If Trick Room is up. Alright, here's the team, as I was saying. Ursaluna deals with Gudra. Ogerpon deals with Lando, Basculegion, and Arcanine. That just leaves Enamorous and Thunderous, which I can handle with... kind of Arcanine. Enamorous is running Earth Power, which isn't great for it. But other than that, it's not too bad. And also, the Enamorous has Contrary, which would trigger its Intimidate, and then I could Mirror Herb to get stats, which would be pretty funny. So let's try this. Let's lead Arcanine and set up Trick Room. Once Trick Room is up, something can go down and I can bring in Ursaluna. And then once Trick Room's gone, something can go down and I can bring Ogerpon in to finish it. I think that's the game plan here. I do need Gudra dead before Ogerpon comes in, because I cannot hurt that Gudra with Ogerpon. It's Steel Dragon, and it's running Sap Sipper on top of that, so... Okay. So I don't get to do the really funny thing, but... this Lando has Earthquake. Okay. Do I want to go into Ogerpon directly? Wild Bolt Storm isn't great. But I do resist Earthquake. We're gonna try it. As I go for Machagacha. See if we can get a burn on the Lando. Or I Trick Room so I outpace the Thunderous next turn. That's what we actually do. So, Trick Room, Ogerpon is not exactly optimal. I have a Mental Herb, which they should know, and they don't run Double Taunt. So Lando is now the second fastest thing on the field. However, I am just going to go for... Well, actually, wait. Do I want... I'm afraid of Wild Bolts. I'm kind of afraid of Wild Bolt Storm if I don't Terra. If I do Terra, I'm less afraid of it. Actually, no, I just stay like this for now and I focus energy. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good plan. And then I will try to burn the Lando. As long as I'm my Silpark Grass type, I am less afraid of the world. So we're going to see if I can burn the Lando, because that would be neat. I think this is the Thunderous. Yes, it is. This is the Lando. Do I get the burn? It's 1 in 5. I do not. Ow. Okay. That hurt, but I lived. As my opponent goes into what? So I should have Terra'd, actually. Okay, Gudra. That is basically the fastest thing in the field. Because I Trick Roomed. I'm just gonna Spiky Shield. And I think Sinistra is going to go ahead and switch out to Ursaluna. So Thundurus can't touch me. The Swing Gudra can, in theory, body press me on the switch. However, I'm switching in from a Ghost type, so I think that's probably unlikely. Then I'm built to be a Trick Room team, so I'm betting Ursaluna will underspeed Gudra, which means it'll outspeed in Trick Room. Probably. So assuming everything goes well here, that's an assumption. The goal here is Ursaluna kills Gudra next turn, letting Ogerpon attack Thundurus as it no longer needs to be scared of Gudra and outspeeds Thundurus in Trick Room. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem, but not too much of one. That's as expected. That's fine. And now Guts triggers. So now I can hit the Gudra with a stab super effective attack as I Terra Ivy Cudgel the Thundurus, which has a mental herb. So this Thundurus dies, assuming I'm correct about the speed tiers we're dealing with. This Gudra I'm less clear about, but this Thundurus is definitely dead if it is not a slow Thundurus. Which, since it's running Prankster, so it could in theory not be running much speed, and then Ogerpon might outspeed it. But I'm betting that because it has Wild Bolt Storm, it probably is still pretty fast. But we will find out here. Because this is going to crit if I'm faster. And if I'm not faster, I will know for next game. And I will probably lose this game. That's fine. That was expected. Okay. So we learned information. We got information. Ogerpon is going to outspeed this Thundurus outside of Trick Room. So now we know that. It's unfortunate that that's how that turn went, but it's still okay, because Ursaluna is still here to cause trouble. And Arcanine to a lesser extent. We're going to Ice Punch the Lando. We're going to Rock Slide both of them. I'm going to bet that I'm going to lose game 1, and I'll have to adjust for game 2, probably. I do now know... I gained information there, and that's that Ogerpon probably outspeeds my opponent's entire team, with the possible exception of a Namarus. Which has... No, it's base 106 speed, so it outspeeds a Namarus. Okay. So Ogerpon outspeeds his entire team, or his or her entire team. That is something that we learned here. My opponent's doing a good job of causing me trouble. Huh. Okay. In that case, here's what we're gonna do. And E-Speed the Thunderous, which has higher priority than Aquajet and Prankster. So if I don't get paralyzed, Thunderous will likely die. Ursaluna is switching to Sinistra. Same argument as before about the different types we're dealing with. And then I can set Trick Room next turn, as Arcanine protects, if it even survives the turn, which it may or may not. My opponent's just reading me like a book, I think. Man. I mean, at this point, the only way I win is Ursaluna killing everything. And with that Basque Legion and all the flying types, I can't really get a good read on what is going to be in a given slot on a given turn, right, is the problem I'm having right now. Well, let's find out speed tiers. I don't mind Arcanine dying at this point, because that lets me bring Ursaluna back in. Because I want to set up Trick Room. Alright. That's fine, that was expected. Oh, he's trying to flinch me. Here. Okay, the Lando did not flinch me. So I got Trick Room up. Ursaluna comes in. What can I hit? What can I do into the Basque Legion slot? Because that's what I need dead right now. Is there any way Ice Punch kills it from this range? I don't want to headlong rush it is a problem. Alright, we're gonna make a read, and that read is Ice Punch kills from this range, and with guts, despite the resistance, and the fact that Basque Legion has decent defenses. Also, the read is that Basque Legion might just switch out. If it doesn't, it is forced to attack Sinistra here. Dang it. My opponent knew how they had to win. So if I headlong rushed, I was in an okay state. But the Lando just EQs me over time. Well, honestly. Yeah. If I just headlong rushed the... Okay, so here's what happens if I had headlong rushed and killed the Basque Legion. My opponent goes into Goodra and uses Body Press with Goodra and Earthquake with Landorus. I can only kill one of them, and I am at -1 defense. Why did it not Aquajet? Why is my opponent throwing this game? What is happening? That Basque Legion was their win con. How many turns of Trick Room are left? 2 turns. This Scooter does not have Protect. Lando does. The Thunderous can't touch me. I headlong rush the Goodra. And I maybe live in EQ? We will find out. Oh, Terra Fairy Goodra probably lives this attack. It might not live a Facade, being honest, if I'm being honest, but it probably lives Headlong Rush. I was right about that, though. That's neat. And now it kills me with Body Press. And yeah, Facade probably killed. And I died at body press. Yep. Okay, yeah, that was good. I probably could have called that Terra and used Facade, but... And I probably... Actually, let's say that I needed to. If I wanted to win, I had to make a risky play, like I did previously with the Basket Leap and Ice Punch. And I just need to keep making those. So I should actually... I didn't notice it was Terra Fairy because I don't really read the entire team sheet. I read I read part of it in practice. But I could have considered using Facade instead. That's assuming, however, that Facade would even do more. And I'm actually not even sure that's true. I think Facade does half again as its baseline damage. No, Facade is double. So it would do more than Headlong Rush, but it might not even kill, to be honest. It would do a decent amount, but it might not kill. And I need to adapt from last game. I now know Ogerpon is the fastest thing in the field. I'm also going to say being the fastest thing in the field is how I win. Because this lets me Tailwind, Berserk, Moltres to clear out stragglers. And we clearly saw my Trick Room plan did not work because his team, my opponent's team, has too much difference in what I can hit effectively with Ursaluna. I saw last time U-turn did so much. U-turn plus Wild Bolt Storm would kill me. So the idea here is, worst case scenario, Tornadus dies in the switch-in, and I Strength Sap the Lando slot. Okay, so I could have... Oh, I'm an idiot. Rage Powder would have redirected the U-turn anyway. Because the plan was I Rage Powder, Focus Energy, turn 1. I could have still done that. I messed up. Oh, I forgot about the Gudra. Can I break Gudra? Also, Sap Saber apparently triggers on Rage on... Oh, Strength Sap. I can't break Gudra, can I? But I can taunt it. So that is what we're going to do. Because I am running backup strats now. So actually, it's kind of okay that I was forced to switch out of Ogerpon, because Ogerpon was never breaking Gudra anyway. So that's a Parachance. No, it didn't get it, even if it does. Does Rain Dance help? Rain Dance helps. Rain Dance helps a lot. kind of. Rain Dance helps some. I don't really want to Matcha Gotcha. I guess I'll just Rage Powder again. Because Bleak Windstorm wasn't going to do much into two opponents that resist it. And this at least gives me options, because Ogerpon, under Tailwind, under whatever else, I have to believe kills Thundurus. And if Thundurus is dead, it can't Wild Bolt Storm into Moltres. And Moltres is going to Nasty Plot. Do I want Terra Steel? Not really. Alright. I'm running backup strats right now, because I'm going to lose. So we are going to try things, basically. Usually, you would notice that... usually in my commentary, I'm a lot more composed, but I'm kind of tilting right now. Especially after I kept forgetting Ogerpon's Grass type last match. So... if I remember to mark law... I don't remember, so it's fine. So Thundurus can T-Wave one of us. And that's assuming it does T-Wave. It should. It used Eerie Impulse into a Moltres, which is Dark type. Okay, so fun interaction. Dark types are immune to Prankster. So actually, I was incorrect before. It can't even use its Thunder Wave into Moltres. Did I not set Tailwind? I apparently forgot to set Tailwind. Or Tailwind petered out and I missed it. So the goal here now is... yes, okay. I did call what my opponent was going to do after last turn. That hurts, but... Berserk. And the Citrus Berry. And I have a whole bunch of stats right now. My Moltres is at +3, using Fiery Wrath into something. The best outcome for me is that my opponent goes into Goodra. Oh well. Because then I get serious damage on Goodra. This Intimidate's becoming a problem because I don't have the Focus Energy up. That being said, do I even need it at this point? Unclear. Flip turn. Basket Legion was outspeeding my Moltres. Flip turn with a Citrus Berry. Flip turn doesn't kill, which means Aqua Jet doesn't kill. And actually, here's what really happens. I Ivy Cudgel the Lando in the rain, and Moltres protects. Stall out my own rain, just my own rain if I can. Man, I keep setting things this match and having them work against me. Because, like, I didn't even kill the Thundurus under rain. I really thought I would. I mean, it kind of worked out, but yeah. So the goal here is, I know Ogerpon outspeeds everything on the field, so Lando dies if it doesn't protect. It did not. Basculegion is the threat right now because of Aqua Jet. Being able to hurt the mon I actually need alive. Lando goes down. Gudra comes out. I can't sap separate. And I never do. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. We saw the Basculegion's damage output earlier. So Ogerpon is going to focus energy so I can start doing damage despite the special attack drops. As Moltres Fiery Wraths both opponents. The Basculegion is going to Terra Water. Terra Water, Aqua Jet in the rain with adaptability is going to hurt. But based on the flip turn damage earlier, I don't think it kills. Unless the rain wasn't up earlier. But I think it was. And a Fiery Wrath, hope at +4, hopefully hits both opponents. Definitely kills the Basculegion, even though it's Assault Vest, I'm sure. And does significant damage to the Gudra, who is being the... Wow, why does this Basculegion keep living? Okay, well... So I'm gonna Horn Leech the Basculegion. I don't want to be dealing with two opponents at once. And that was a coin flip after Focus Energy. And now I'm just one-on-one with this Gudra, which is gonna be body pressing me to death. Or life doing, I guess. Ivy Cudgel is the only attack I have that can hurt it. Let's see how much it does. It is critting, so it does ignore the attack drops. And it will ignore any Acid Armor defense boost it sets up. So... this will be interesting to see. The question is, do I outdamage Life Dew? I do outdamage Life Dew. Okay. So this is slowly a win. Slowly. Well, actually, not even true because it didn't Life Dew this turn, so it just dies to the Ivy Cudgel. Whew. Okay. Alright, so... Focus Energy. This Focus Energy Ogerpon saved the game. So we are going to a game 3. With 27 minutes left in the round timer, which I think is more than a single game timer even is. So game 3. So, oh, I see why the Basculegion lives. It's because it wasn't Ghost type anymore. So my calculation was assuming it would definitely die because Dark is super effective, but it was no longer Dark, and that's why it lived. It's that and the Assault Vest and the basic high defenses. Okay, I see what happened now. All right. So I'm going to do this lead again. I'm going to do it correctly this time, remembering that I can Rage Powder to redirect the Thunder Wave. I'm going to bring Ursaluna in the back, because I'm going to be able to set Trick Room. We already saw Moltres wasn't doing much, even with... I did set a Nasty Plot, didn't I? I thought it had +4 special attack. Maybe I forgot to Nasty Plot. Or I forgot to, just like I maybe forgot to Tailwind. But I think Ursaluna will do more than Moltres. Which means I don't care about Tailwind, so I'll bring Arcanine for the extreme speed, I suppose. Does this seem right? Yeah? And this time, I will remember how my lead is supposed to work. Is this Enamorus a problem? Not really. So the Enamorus finally came, so I can finally make use of the of my silly Arcanine plan. But for now, I'm just going to focus energy. I thought Wild Bolt Storm had a chance to paralyze, unfortunately, but if it does, it does. I think is how I'm going to think about this, because there's not much else I can do about it, even if that does happen. That's fine. There we go. I accept Sinistcha being paralyzed. I'd rather it not, because I don't like losing my turn, but I will accept it. The Thundurus does not have a Focus Sash, so I'm still going to believe that crit Ivy Cudgel should kill this Thundurus. This Enamorus can't hurt me too much, but Rage Powder is still better than anything else it can do, so I want to switch. Especially because I want to redirect the Rage Powder, or redirect the Thunder Wave, as long as I don't get paralyzed, because the Thunder Wave will go off before my Ivy Cudgel. And now I'll get my special defense boost, so Enamorus won't be able to hurt me very much. One in five. Oh, but it didn't Thunder Wave. Must be trying to use Wild Bolt Storm. Why does it live? I mean, Wild Bolt Storm kills now. Unless it misses. Is this Thundurus? There's no way it's spec to live that attack. Was that a crit? I feel like the crit didn't matter, but I'm very peeved. Well, Arcanine, go. Let's see if what I believe is true is actually true. So I Intimidate the Thundurus. I Intimidate the Enamorus. Contrary triggers my Mirror Herb. Ha ha ha! That's adorable. I mean, I need to E-speed the Thundurus. If I don't get the Rage Powder off, the Enamorus kills me, it kills me. But if I don't get the Rage Powder off, the Thundurus paralyzes me. So I hope I just don't get paralyzed 2 turns in a row. Okay, we're good. So the fear was Earth Power out of this Enamorus like it uses here. But I didn't get paralyzed again, so it's fine. It's fine. This is less fine. I am just going to accept that my life is hoping I don't get paralyzed with Sinistcha. Because I don't have a better plan. With Ogerpon dead, anyway. Because, I mean, I get this +1 Rock Slide, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna do some damage. And as long as Rage Powder goes off, the worst thing that happens is Sinistcha dies. And Enamorus doesn't die. That's actually pretty bad. Vasculegion should last respects. Yeah. I was hoping it wouldn't and it would try to kill Arcanine, but that was objectively correct for it. So the problem here is this won't kill. And I've got two things in the back that are weak to water. So my odds aren't great. What I can do, though, is I can double protect. Just wait a turn while Ursaluna gets its guts, and then my opponent has to make a choice about who Basculegion is attacking. Because if I don't double protect, he maybe expects protect on Ursaluna and just kills Arcanine for free. Who are they preferring? They're preferring to kill Arcanine. Okay. Ice Punch is not killing. I need Basculegion dead. I don't have a choice. I have to do this. The best case scenario is Basculegion does something weird. Yeah. Wasn't really expecting it, though. Unfortunately, if it doesn't do anything weird... Yeah. Alright, Ursaluna kills Basculegion. Enamorus kills Ursaluna after the -1 special defense. And that Rage Powder Paralysis that lets... Well, did it cause Ogerpon to die? I guess it didn't, did it? The Wild Bolt Storm was probably going to kill anyway. I have to make a call. Did I get it right this time? Alright, my opponent did the same thing they did last time. However, it probably doesn't matter, because even if I kill Goodra here, Enamorus probably 2 shots. Yeah. Okay. Too bad. Oh, the Goodra outspeeds anyway. Alright, fine. In hindsight, that should have been obvious. Because I'm not in a Trick Room, so... Alright, that's a loss. And we are now 1-2, and even the first match wasn't very pretty, so, hopefully I have a better showing in my last match against someone else who's also 1-2. Because now that I've lost 2 games, I feel reasonably confident I won't make Top Cut, which is fine. It gives me more time to make dinner. We are apparently the last match to finish, so I will pause my recording and bring it back, but it probably won't be paused very long for my time. See you in a moment. And we have returned for the final game for this battle. Game for this battle. What? Game for this video. Match for this video. Because they just confirmed, and the tournament organizer just confirmed that Top Cut will be the people who are who have no more than 1 loss. Guess what? I'm at 2 losses, so I'm not cutting. Wow. out of context. I mean, you certainly should never cut, I guess. But goodness, that sounded much better in my head. I'm certainly not making top cut. That said, neither is my opponent, so maybe it'll just be maybe this will just be a nice chill game. Also, I want to emphasize, I think I may have fought strictly the teams that didn't bring Ogre Pawn. Because I'm not fighting an Ogre Pawn again. Weird. Trick Room? Trick Room. Also Anti-Trick Room. Probably. Also Tailwind. Yeah, it's another mix like mine. Ogre Pawn is probably the fastest thing in the field, but not when Iron Hand's lead is pretty likely. How does Arcanine look? Not very good with Lando, Iron Hands, and Basculegion. Okay, let's try this instead. Because we know I have a pretty slow Moltres, so if I can set up Trick Room. Maybe. Maybe my opponent will bring their fast mode. But... So the real problem I'm having... I'm realizing... This team has trouble with Basculegion. For some reason... I'm facing another... I've now faced 2 Basculegion. Okay, so we're both... wanting to do Trick Room. Nice. I like the neat theme the game chose. Am I expecting Trick Room? Probably not when I let it. I should know which theme this is. It might be Cassiopeia's theme, also known as Penny's theme from the main game. I wonder if I outspeed the Iron Hands in a Trick Room. I feel like I should. The Iron Hands is Terra Grass, so conceivably it might call that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Rage Powder. And I'm gonna Facade. No, I'm gonna Ice Punch. 150, 140 with Stab. Never mind, Facade does more. So the theory here is... if I Rage Powder... the worst thing that happens is the Iron Hands Terra Grasses, and he maybe kills me after I get a Facade off. However, he did not... my opponent just decided to go straight for... close combat as I Rage Powdered. So I accept this outcome. Strugger after the problem. So I'm going to use Matcha Gotcha to try and kill the... I forgot if it's Safety Goggles. That's interesting. I'm going to hope Matcha Gotcha kills the Iron Hands. Can I? I really can't. On the other hand, there's not much else I'm going to be doing now that I've noticed that the Furgraph has Safety Goggles, which blocks my powder moves, so... I guess I'll just kill the Iron Hands, because the Iron Hands is a problem. Goes in the Basculegion. Dang it. You know, I thought about hitting the Frigoraph. Apparently I should have done that. I guess that's acceptable. I'm betting Ursaluna lives the turn, though. Yeah, Ursaluna has a lot of stats, is the thing. And now I can Rage Powder to absorb the Basque Legion's attack as I Facade kill the Frigoraph. Because Frigoraph is no Iron Hands. And also because, as I said, I knew it had safety goggles, so I knew it didn't have Focus Sash. For that matter, nothing on my opponent's team has Focus Sash. Trick Room should still be up for at least one more turn. I will check the status when I get a chance. Iron Moggy. I just noticed that name. That's probably referring to one of the other people in the community. Check status. One more turn of Trick Room. Yes. The Iron Hands does, however, I want to note, have Fake Out. So we're going to do something fun. No, this is just a mistake. Rage Powder. Headlong Rush the Basque Legion. Iron Hands is low. And then I can bring something else in. That's fine. I think I live the burn this turn. Ah, of course. That makes sense, actually. Yep. So Trick Room's gone. So I bring in Moltres. Actually, this is pretty good timing. I bring in Moltres. I bet Fiery Wrath kills Iron Hands from this range because it's booster energy Iron Hands. And I Headlong Rush the Basque Legion before I die. Or, you know, it may Aqua Jet kill me, but whichever. The fact that I'm mostly seeing teams that don't have Ogerpon makes me kind of wonder if I'm just facing all the Reg D teams because I am, you know, not always a good player and I forgot things like Ogerpon is weak to flying because it's grass type. And it's probably this doesn't even kill. And I make assumptions like that are just wrong. This might not kill though. Neat. I need my Citrus Berry. This Basque Legion is Assault Vest. I point this out because it does not have Protect. Granted, this thing does. Do a Sucker Punch? Yeah, a Sucker Punch. See if I live in Aqua Jet. I mean, we saw the last game where I was tanking hits reasonably well. Oh, Terra Water. Have I Terra Jet this game? I haven't, have I? Wait, it's Terra Grass? It is Terra Grass. Weird. Okay. Sure. And then we'll check the speed tier on this Moltres versus this Urshifu. Urshifu is faster. Urshifu went for Ogerpon. I get Air Slash off. Urshifu lived. Because it is sashed. Your Urshifu... My opponent's Urshifu is Black Glasses according to the team sheet. Higher accuracy. Fire Wrath is 100 accuracy. Apparently I forgot that fact. Ivy Cudgel it. So, I win anyway, because I'm attacking with 2 things, but my opponent's Urshifu is supposed to be black glasses according to the team sheet. I win because this is 100 accuracy and it has one hit point. So either way, I pull that out because Ogerpon lived the hit last turn, lived the Wicked Blow last round. But my opponent's team sheet is wrong. They're saying, shoot, I knew I missed something. Yeah, my opponent's saying they can take a game loss. I'm just saying, we're just playing for fun at this point anyway. Well, at least they're offering to just take a game loss, which results in me taking the match, but that would be silly. Especially because I think it's the automatic game loss is supposed to be the game you discover the error in. And I won that game anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So, but now I know the Urshifu is Focus Sash, so that's important to keep in mind. Also, I am thinking that the value and usage of Single Strike Urshifu might go up now that this thing's in the meta, because Ogerpon Wellspring Mask gets Follow Me, which works like Rage Powder, but works on grass types. And it's immune to water moves, so it can kind of just invalidate Urshifu water a lot of the time. Am I adapting at all? Probably not. I mostly liked how that went. So I want to try something funny. Okay, know what? No, we're trying something funny. Let's see if we can make a faster Saluna. Let's see if we can Tailwind to make Ursaluna fast enough to do fast enough to function. I'm betting we can't. I'm betting it's still too slow. But this way we find out. So Intimidate, which is unfortunate. Don't really want to switch though, so I guess it's fine. Ice Punch the Lando. And set Tailwind. Yeah. Lando is Terra Flying, the Tornadus is Terra Flying, so whatever it's doing is going Terra Flying. I guess it just wants to hurt me with Bleak Wind Storm, which, I mean, fair? That is very fair. This Lando's gonna go next because it's Choice Scarfed. And then I bet that my opponent's Tornadus goes before Ursaluna. Yep. Oh, hey, Ursaluna, Mr. Ursaluna. That's cool. I have many pings. Why do I have many pings? I can deal with those. Hopefully I can deal with those later. Yes, I can deal with those later. Ogerpon, get out there. Did Ursaluna flinch or something? I'm sure it's fine. The Lando is locked into Rock Slide. I am going to Facade the Tornadoes. And Spiky Shield with Ogre Pawn. No. We're just going to kill the Lando. Or not kill the Lando. We're going to hit Basket Legion, I guess. That's acceptable. Why did the Lando not take damage? What did I miss while I was looking away? Oh well, whatever. Oh, I see. Lando used Rock Slide and flinched Ursaluna, so it didn't take Ice Punch. That's what happened. Okay. This should not do much. The worst case scenario is it drops my Ogre Pawn speed stat. And then Tornadoes dies to Facade. It does not die to Facade. Tornadoes dies to Facade next turn. Fine. I'm gonna have Ursaluna stall for a moment. Because I think this Basket Legion probably wants to kill it if it can. So I'm gonna Ivy Cudgel the Tornadoes. I did get it correct. Cool. And then with Tailwind, I killed Tornadoes. Alright. So Lando probably comes back in here. That's my guess. Yep. At this point, what do I have in the back? I have Moltres in the back. I'm gonna Ice Punch the Lando. And I'm gonna Focus Energy if I can. This Lando, the worst thing you can... Oh, it can stop me Tantrum. I think this is the last turn Tailwind, unfortunately. Interesting. Also potentially problematic. Yeah. Okay, so I lose. Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. Basket Legion is going to Wave Crash, Moltres into Oblivion, and Urshifu is going to Sucker Punch Ogre Pawn. As I can't do much to either of them. That being said, I'm going to try. Also, the other problem is the Lando in the back is Choice Scarfed. So it is now the fastest thing in the field. So I have to deal with that problem somehow. Basket Legion probably dies to its own recoil. Am I right? Yes, I am right. As I get Berserk, I get my Citrus Berry, and Lando comes in and Rock Slides everyone to death. Urshifu wants to Sucker Punch Ogerpon. Because it know it can. Kind of. I know the Sucker Punch kills me. The Rock Slide probably also kills me is the problem. Yeah. And then I die to the follow-up Sucker Punch. Next turn. Even if this +2 Fire Wrath kills Lando, which it won't. I died to Sucker Punch. I died to the Urshifu Sucker Punch at this point. I died at Urshifu Sucker Punch. I died at Lando's Rock Slide. Oh, right. Haha. Because Urshifu goes through Protect and kills Moltres. Fair enough. Alright, so we go to a game 3, discounting the fact that arguably I've won the match, but I don't actually think that's important. The two of us can figure out how we want to call game 3 if I lose. But we're going to play the set as if I knew the Urshifu was Focus Sash in the first place. And the problem is, this team has a problem with Urshifu Sucker Punch, has a problem with Basculete and Zakujet. This team has a problem with priority. And that's kind of just true. Its solution to both of them is Sinistcha. But Sinistcha dies to Last Respects. Sinistcha dies to Wicked Blow. So, how do you deal with a team that can't... How do I deal with priority? And also, overall, I would say Trick Room works better into my opponent's team. Because of the Choice Scarf Lando, because of the Basculete, because of the Urshifu, because of the Tornadoes. My opponent doesn't have setups. The Mirror Herb just isn't that interesting. But the other way to deal with priority is to bring your own priority. So Arcanine gets to come as a mini solution to Urshifu. But in general, I don't like Arcanine into this matchup. We've already seen that Moltres doesn't work real well either. I think the real conclusion I've come to with this team, I don't use Reddit, so I'm not going to post about my result of this, but if for some reason the creator of this team sees this video, I think Moltres is a bit of a weak link. I think it just doesn't hit hard enough, even with Berserk. Because it's just consistently not killing things, even after it gets +1, +2. The conclusion I'm sort of coming to is I don't want, is I want the Terra and Overpawn, and I think that's what's going to be found using Overpawn teams in general is because it's so useful Terra'd. Using Terra on something else is often it has significant drawback. That being said, Sinister is probably going to die here. Interesting. So that protect doesn't do anything. Does Sinistra have enough bulk to live this attack? Ha, no. Absolutely not. This being said, Overpawn can now come in. If I want it to. Arcanon's a better switch in though. Because the Lando's now locked into U-turn. So I can kind of freely do whatever I feel like. And what I feel like is probably Rock Slide. There's no way I can hit the Lando. So I'm going to facade the Tornado slot. Yeah. Basque Legion? Okay. I kind of thought that might be the case. Well, that's terrifying. Ah, frick. Okay, I hit the one I wanted to hit, technically. That's not necessarily a positive. Lando comes in. And I knew Lando would come in because it intimidates both of these physical attackers and causes significant problems for my Mons in the field. One of the things the creator of this team mentioned in their post on Reddit was that this team has a weakness to Intimidate. I do kind of see what they're saying, since Earth's Luna is so important for the offense, and Arcanine's Z-Speed is like the only form of priority on this team. Okay. I didn't see what Lando used. I think it used Earthquake, though. Terra Ghost. That's not very helpful. I need Lando dead. If Lando's dead... Use Stomping Tantrum. Okay. If Lando's dead, I have a very, very small chance with Overpawn. Of course, that was the expected outcome. So... Being said, I'm going to stay with my current typing. If I keep the grass typing, these two can't hurt me too much outside of Last Respects, which has only killed one thing right now so far, I think. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to hurt. But... Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, I can't beat Urshifu with other stuff. Goodness. Okay. Spiky Shield. Mostly just to stall it. Uh, so it didn't actually matter is the reality. If I didn't see what the Basque Legion did, but if the Basque Legion, I think they guaranteed I was dead, but by Aquajet Basque Legion and Wicked Blow Urshifu, so it doesn't actually matter what I did there. And that will be the game. So it looks like this week I am 1-3. Maybe I would do better if I had built my own team. That's unlikely. I'm bad at team. I'm not very good at team building. But at some point I am going to build my own team. And one of the advantages of building your own team is you get a better feel for how it's supposed to run. And one of the things, so like, for me, if I'd been building that team instead of using a rental code, I would probably not have brought the Moltres. It's a little bit too slow. And the Arcanine's Mirror Herb is neat, as we saw with the Enamorus in match 3. But I think it's a little too niche in practice. So I think you would do better running something that can handle dark and water type priority. One possibility is you run something silly like Frigoraph, which just blocks priority. Of course, then you have a Frigoraph, which is going to die to Urshifu's Wicked Blow, so, you know, it's sort of a mixture, but then you could run Terra Fairy on the Frigoraph, give it Dazzling Gleam, let it shut down Urshifu almost entirely that way, as well as potentially being a second Trick Room setter, so you're not relying on Sinistra every time if you want to bring Trick Room. Of course, that requires that I have time. I am a graduate student. The joke about graduate students. Graduate students don't have time. There is some truth in this statement, but hopefully I will do okay in any case. And at someday I will be able to build a team I actually like. But in the meantime, this has been the video for today. I went 1-3. I did not totally embarrass myself because I at least won one match, which I felt okay about at least. Although even that wasn't very clean. Like I arguably won 2 matches, but both of them were to team sheet mix-ups, which is not. Doesn't feel good. So I don't think I had a very good showing today. But I also think Water Ogerpon, even as neat as the crit focus energy tech is, I don't think it's quite good enough. It might work better, weirdly. It might work better with the rock type Ogerpon, which is sturdy, so you can more consistently be sure you'll live at least one hit. Because Rock-type Ogerpon is the only one kind of Ogerpon mask that doesn't really see anyone talking about it, because it's just defense. It's the Rock type, which means you don't have great defensive coverage. But I can see it maybe working with some set like that, where the goal is just to crit everything to death. And for that, offensive Rock might be better than offensive Water. But I think I'm done. I think that's enough vamping for today. And so until the next time, whenever that's going to be, I have been Gigasaurus Games. Hoping you all have enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a good night. Gigasaurus Games is signing out. Bye.